Shamrock FC 347 goes down this Saturday, July the 22nd. And right now I have the president of the promotion, Jesse Finney, on the show. Jesse, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to the interview and the fights on Saturday.
100%. I first want to start with that number 347. That's truly remarkable, man. You guys have been around for a very, very long time, doing it at a very high level. What is the secret to all your success?
Well, I take that as a huge compliment, but it also makes me feel really old. I can't believe it. They say it goes by fast, and it really does go by fast. I mean, if you're talking 25 years ago, 347 shows, it's just it's crazy. And I think like a lot of to answer your question, to circle back, is the secret to success is consistency and doing the right thing, for people, but also doing treating our team the right way. And we have the best team in the business. I will say that. And Rob Donaker, who's the head of operations and matchmaker, has been with me from day one. It will be 25 years. Actually, it's been 26 years in October. So when we started, it'll be October. It'll be 26 years. We started everything, but as far as doing events and getting them going, it's just in 25 years. July 11th, actually. So it's crazy.
Wow. If you, in a perfect world, what's the right number of shows that you'd like to put on a year?
For us, I think it all varies. It all varies. It's just got to be the right shows, right? So, like for us, it's not about. At one point, we were doing 26 shows a year, and we were all over, and it was a lot. And keep in mind, I mean, that was in like 48 weeks. It wasn't 52 weeks because we wouldn't start till like the second week of January, and we would end the first week of December. So, I mean, you're talking like 48 weeks, and we were doing shows, all the time, and that's a lot. I mean, that's a whole lot. And if you look back at it, like. I think that like I go to say, yeah, you can do as many shows as you want, but let's make sure we're doing them the right way and do them with quality and do them, 100%. And when you're running that hard at a small company like ourselves, it's hard, it's a grind. And I think it's got to be a balance. It's got to be a balance. And no matter what, it's just got to be done right. And I feel like if it's done right, it doesn't really matter if you're doing 2 shows a year, if you're doing, 26, 30, if you're the UFC, you're doing 50 shows a year. Right. So, and obviously the big dogs are doing it right with UFC and Bellator. So just do it right. I think that, the fans will continue to come out and the fighters will really appreciate it.
Now, are you involved in the matchmaking as well?
I'm involved in matchmaking a little bit, but not that often. If I have to, I try not to be quite honest with you. It's really not my job. I mean, with my job is, I don't ask Rob to get into, what I do. If I need help, I will, but like there's not many times that I ask him for a lot of help with that type of stuff on my end, the business side of things. And there's not a lot of times that he asks me about the matchmaking type of things. So just kind of like I got my lane, he's got his lane. We got a lot of other guys that help us in different areas. But also at the same time, we try to stick to our own lane.
All right. And when you are looking for new fighters to bring on and, maybe be like a mainstay for the promotion, what attributes are you looking for?
I think first and foremost, are they reliable? Are they good people? I really, that means a lot to us from doing this for so long. I mean, Ryan, think about this. Of all the years, we put over 4,000 fights on. Let that sink in. So 4,000 fights, if you're averaging 12 fights a fight card, it's over 4,000. So for us, it goes back to your question is like, what do we look for? We look for reliability and good people who are honest. That'll actually show up when they say they're going to show up. They're going to train the way they say they're going to train. They have media obligations. They have to show up on weight. They got to show up to the weigh-ins. They have to do all the right things. There are small things that mean a lot to us at the very beginning. And then after a while, then, we build that trust, and then, then we can finally move you on and, start to really, gather some other things that will, further your career along with us as well. Right. But also at the same time, like, I go back to saying, just be a good person, do the right things. And then also, come to fight. At the end of the day, if you come to fight and you do all the things you say you're going to do, you're going to have a home with us for a long time.
Evan Elder fought for your promotion 10 times as an amateur and a professional. Did you watch his first UFC win this past weekend? And what was that like just to see him, achieve that?
Yeah, I did watch his fight this last weekend. I mean, his first win, he should have got the win in his fight before that, right? He got cut. Unfortunately, it didn't go all the way. It was awesome because, I also trained Evan when he was younger as well. So there's a personal relationship there because, with the fight, the promotion side, you try to almost stay away a little bit. And then, I was training him, he's just a dynamite kid. I mean, if you think of a poster child for Shamrock FC, and I really mean this, and it means a lot. I mean, he is the poster child that we try to emulate. That's a good person that does the right things in and out of the cage. That's a good human being, but also goes in the cage as well on fight night and fights his ass off. Right. So he's going to give it to you 110% and in and out of the cage in life. And he just does the right things when the right things are, no one's looking. He's still doing the right things. And for him to see him get that W, I couldn't be more proud. We're fortunate enough he'll be at the show on Saturday night. He's coming to town. So, I mean, Joaquin Buckley will be there on Saturday night. I mean, we've got a ton of guys that came through our organization throughout all those 25 years. And it's remarkable to see where these guys are going. And, to see, like, I mean, let's face it. Joaquin Buckley's got the greatest knockout in UFC history, hands down. Everybody knows that. And I mean, he's the guy that came through our organization. I think fought for us probably 8 to 10 times as well. So we've produced a lot of good guys, and we're going to continue to produce a lot more for many more years to come.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Boy, when I think about that knockout, that was so crazy. Easily, I think you have to put that at the top. I also think about Anderson Silva when he front kicked Vitor Belfort, how vicious that was. But yeah, that Buckley knockout was amazing.
Maybe I'm a little biased, but I've never seen someone grab somebody's, foot, jump in the air, turn around. It was like the Matrix, and spinning back kick, chin to and what's crazy is, when he was training in the gym, he would do that type of stuff. And we're like, dude, you got to stop, man. You're going to hurt somebody, because he would jump in the air and he would just fall. He wouldn't kick anybody. Right. So we've seen it throughout all the years. And people were like, oh my gosh. And yes, it was crazy to see it come fruition. But I mean, we've seen him do so many other crazy things as well. And that guy, he's just a tremendous, crazy athlete. It's a crazy martial artist. And people don't train with the Evan Elders. They'll tell you, look, we've seen all that before. And he's tremendous. And, it's awesome to see what these guys are doing such great things.
Give me a couple of names of fighters that you have on your promotion right now. Maybe that are under the radar. Maybe they could be amateurs or early on in their pro career that you feel like we're going to see at the highest of levels at some point down the line.
I would say a lot of them, really. I mean, we've got a bunch of studs coming up right now, just even like Austin Banshee, who's our 135 champ. I mean, that kid will be in the UFC, be in Bellator, and when he gets there, he's going to stay there for many years to come. So I say Austin Banshee's probably our number one prospect right now coming out at the moment. But we've got a lot of other guys that are coming up. You know what? To be honest, first of all, we have a lot of pros. Number one, the crop of amateurs that have just came in the last year since COVID. These kids are savages. They're just it's like they're pent up in a house for 2 years with COVID, just pissed off with the world. So we've got a bunch. We really do. And if you look at these guys, this kid that's fighting on the co-main event, Max Torich. A kid that's trained with Buckley and myself when we were younger. That kid's. He's going to be absolutely incredible. And when he gets to the UFC or he gets to Bellator, he'll be there for a long time. I look for Max and Austin to be UFC or Bellator world champions. And for me to say that means a lot, because there's been many times that I picked up the phone and said, well, hey, this one's going to be really, they'll ask me, hey, what do you think about this one? This is going to be really good. There's only, and I can say in 25 years and I'm doing this, and I was a fighter. My stepdad was a fighter. I've been in the fight business since I was 8 years old. Right. So there's only a few on less than one hand that I've said, hey, sign this guy. He's going to be a world champion. And a couple of them really are. So, and I think you're going to see it here the next year or two. Look, Johnny Eblen, he's the best 185er in the world. He came from Bellator, right? And he's literally, if you ask me right now, he's hands down the best 185er in the world. And I think that, he is what our organization's about. Evan Elder, Johnny Eblen, Joaquin Buckley. I could go on and on with all these guys. And the guy that we're really excited to introduce in the Shamrock FC Hall of Fame is Kevin Engel on Saturday night. So that's going to be very special for us. He's been with us for 20 plus years. And if you look at what he's done throughout all of his years with boxing and with kickboxing and mixed martial arts as well with Bellator, He's another one we're excited for to honor on Saturday night.
That's very cool. But before we transition to this upcoming event on Saturday, tell me, do you have anything down the pipeline, something that you're going to implement, or something that you just want to do with the promotion?
Yeah, I mean, I would go short and start off by saying, Saturday night we're gonna do a lot of special things, right? I mean, we got a lot of tricks up our sleeve. It's gonna be a very special night for Shamrock FC throughout on Saturday. But then further down the road, we're gonna announce some deals that we're gonna come up with here probably the next 60 to 90 days. We've got all of 24 pretty much mapped out, which is I don't think that many organizations can say that in the middle of July. 24 is completely full. We might add some more in there. Believe it or not, we've got 9 shows on the books for 2025 right now, which is tremendous. And I think we just got to continue to look to grow and grow and grow and stay consistent and relevant, and continue just to do it and do it the right way. And I think that if we continue to do that, so many great things will come from Shamrock FC and continue to come from Shamrock FC.
When I think of Shamrock, I mean, I'm from the New England area. I think of, the Celtics, Irish. Any chance you're ever going to come up to my neck of the woods in New England and put on a show?
You never know, right? You never know. I mean, we are a very strong Irish heritage. So, I mean, I'm not saying we wouldn't do it. We've actually, we've talked to some casinos up east. I can't really get much deeper into that, but with some organizations, I mean, if you look at who we deal with as far as ownership of these casinos and who we've dealt with in the past, the opportunity is always there for us. If it presents itself, and it has presented itself multiple times, just got to be right, Ryan. I mean, for us, it's got to be right. And I can tell you right now, we're not going to do something unless we do it right. And we're not just going to do a show and just to make an extra, $10,000. It's just not going to work like that for us. We look at the long term and how it's going to affect, our partners with the casinos, how it's going to affect the fighters, the sponsors, everybody else involved. And we're not into doing one-off shows. We're looking for long-term growth for long-term years to come, so we can continue to grow the market and the fighters and the fans and our brand.
Makes sense. Well, I could say I'd love to see you up in New England if that ever comes to fruition. Let's talk about this upcoming event. Again, this Saturday, July 22nd, Shamrock FC 347. You got a new main event. Derek Scott is out, and now Austin Midkiff steps in to take on Scott Ettling. What are we going to see in this main event fight?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're excited to have Austin jump in last minute here. And, Scott Ettling's a guy that fought for us I'd say probably upwards of 8 to 10 times as well throughout the past. It comes off a long layoff. Austin's been very busy. It's a different stylistic matchup if you look at it. Like Austin is very long. It's got good striking abilities. Scott Ettling is a guy, man. He brings the fight every single time, and I love it. I mean, he is the promoter's dream, to be honest with you, because he's the guy that will come out and he'll hit the guy 3, 4, 5 times. He'll yell in his face and scream and ready to get after it. He's one of them. So yeah, you got a smile on your face thinking about it, right?
Oh yeah.
So he is that guy, and he's the guy that will bring it. So I'm looking forward to that fight. Looking forward to get Scott back in the ring, and also Austin to stay consistently busy. And and then our co-main event is going to be absolutely crazy. Zach Davis and Max Torich. It's going to be it's an incredible fight too. So the whole fight card from top to bottom is stacked, and we're really looking forward to Saturday night. Ticket sales are probably better than we've ever had in all the years. So that's great. We're looking forward to bringing a lot of the old fighters back, and a lot of Shamrock FC vets will be in the house. It's going to be a really special night for everybody.
Yeah, I want to circle back to that co-main event here in a second. But first, I wanted to ask, why is Derek Scott out? Did he get injured?
Who knows? I really this is probably the third fight he's pulled out for an injury here consistently. I don't really know. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I just wanted to ask, you mentioned Max earlier in the interview and his upside. Stylistically, what kind of a fighter is he? Is he a specialist, or is he just very well-rounded?
Max is a savage. Like he is a complete savage. Very violent. He's going to get in your face. He can strike. He can wrestle. He's got good jiu-jitsu. But truly, he's there to beat your ass. Like, he's one of those guys that he's on a mission. He's on a mission. I mean, that kid is That's all I mean. Like he's got really good striking, but he's coming to hurt you. That's just the fighter he is, and he is a guy that's going to bring the fight. He's going to get in your face, and he's there to hurt you. Like he's not looking for the sub. Look, he's been training with Buckley since he was 14 or 15 in our gym. I think Buckley was 17. I think Buckley was probably 17 or 18. He was probably 13, 14, 15. Right. So they grew up together. Now they're training up in Michigan together. Max he hates Michigan, right? He hates the cold. He loves the training. He loves that, but he's like, it's miserable. I don't like it, but I'm here for a job, and I'll do anything to sacrifice to be a UFC or Bellator world champion. And that's what he's doing. And he's on a mission, man. I mean, that kid is he's a savage. And to see where he's come in the last couple of years, just mentally, right? Not just physically, but just mentally as well. I mean, the kid is he's tremendous, man. And that kid's tune in. I mean, because he's going to be Scott Coker or Dana White's fairy tale. I mean, he really is, because he is the guy that's going to. You know what? He's like Evan Elders, the guy that's just this polished and nice kid. But Max is as nice of a kid as Evan is, as a fighter as he is. Max is just so mean and just violent, and that really is. I mean, he's a violent kid.
So when you look at his opponent, Zach Davis, he's got a little bit more experience as far as his professional record goes, 5-3. What kind of a fight does he have to make this into to give himself the best chance of winning here?
Fight like Zach Davis does, no quit, in your face at all times. I mean, he's bigger than Max. He's probably stronger than Max. He's more experienced than Max. Whose wrestling's better, really? It's going to come down a lot of it. I really do think that Max's striking is probably better, but I think that it's almost an equalizer when it comes down to, Zach's been in there 8 professional times, right? So, I mean, you can't take that away from him. He's fought some really tough guys, and Zach is big. I mean, he is a big, big guy. He's a big guy, strong guy, good wrestler that's going to come hard. Well, he's bigger than Max. He's stronger than Max, probably. And you know what? Time will tell. I mean, and can, gamesmanship play it, a factor here. He's a veteran, Max is still really young. So, he's a guy that was split wide open in his last fight and no quit for 2 rounds. I mean, he's a guy that's going to bring the fight no matter what. We're excited for that, for the co-main event.
That sounds like a very, very exciting co-main. You also have 2 amateur title fights on the line. The featherweight and lightweight title will be up for grabs. Let's start with the featherweight title first. Jose Intriago, 5-2 versus Elam Luna Antonio, undefeated fighter, 5-0. Stylistically, when you look at this matchup, what are we going to see here?
Unfortunately, that fight just got canceled this morning. Just got canceled this morning, which really stinks, because I think that was going to be a tremendous fight overall. But you know what? We'll get that back. Both of them, the Jose must go. So, I mean, one of the two. It's going to be, we're going to get that fight here in the near future. So once we get that back, unfortunately, we couldn't make it happen on this one. But we will here in the very near future coming up. So, but when that fight happens, it's going to be absolutely awesome.
So just one amateur title fight.
Yes, just one amateur title fight as of right now.
All right, so that's Cody McGee, 5-1 versus another undefeated fighter, Jordan Krifka. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. 4-0. Okay, what are we going to see here?
A hell of a fight. It really is. I mean, you talk about the young guys coming up, and they're like the peak of the young guys coming up, just like the last 2 Jose's, right? Like those kids are mid-level pros right now, right? Like all these guys. Like that's what I'm saying. We have a whole new crop coming up right now, so it's going to be awesome. It's as far as with Cody and Jordan, it's going to be a tremendous fight. Cody's got really good striking. Jordan's got good jiu-jitsu as well. Cody's got good jiu-jitsu. We cannot wait for that fight as well. It's going to be pretty awesome. The whole card from start to beginning is going to be an awesome card.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now on Tapology. So how many fights do you have right now lined up for Saturday night?
Right now, you know what? This moment, I don't know. We actually have a matchmakers meeting here at 2 o'clock. So
Okay.
I can't give you the exact number right now. We're going over the final numbers. What's it show on there right now?
Right now it shows 9 fights, but that is with the featherweight title, so it would be down to 8.
I think we're down. I think we're actually at 10. I think that's actually the number right now. But
Okay.
I can find that back and I can message you as well.
Is there a fight that we haven't discussed that you feel like maybe could be fight of the night, or just one that we should really be keeping our eyes on?
I think that um, there's a fight. Alex Reed is fighting Jay.
Jones.
I think it was Jay Jones, right? Two guys. I don't think either one of them like to wrestle a whole lot, and I think both of them will do anything not take the fight down, and they both are tremendous strikers, right? So that's a good fight. Reggie Jones is on there. I mean, we got some Reggie Morris. I'm sorry, Reggie Morris. He's a young up and coming guy. We got a lot of new guys coming up that I think that it's going to be absolutely incredible. And if you look at some of our guys that are on, I mean, most of them are really good strikers. Fight other good strikers. We don't have a wrestler or striker where you got one guy trying to take down the whole time, and you got another guy that's trying to take the guy down the whole time. And so we're trying to, what Rob does a great job at is just putting on good stylistic fights.
Fan friendly fights, the type of fights that the fans want to see once they're there in the venue.
Hey, I'm a fan. Same as me. I mean, I think on fight night, I cannot wait because of the fights that are going on in the cage. It's unbelievable, and I feel like I'm just like the luckiest guy in the world because I get to sit there cage side, front row seat, and watch the fight. So it's awesome.
So St. Charles, Missouri, the Ameristar Casino. What is the energy normally like in the casino? I've seen videos. I've never been there in person. It seems like it gets pretty rowdy and exciting.
It's pretty tremendous. I think that with what we try to do, really we try to really put on live event and a live event experience to make it a great experience for the guests, that everybody that comes, and make it first class all the way. It's 21 and up, so there's not a lot of kids that are at that casino. So it's a pretty energetic crowd, well-behaved crowd that's been, they've seen 347 shows, right, from just our organization. So they come to expect, a quality show, quality entertainment, quality production, and great memories from a Shamrock FC event. And we're excited for Saturday night for a 347th show.
And for anyone that can't be there in person, it will be on Fight TV still, correct?
It will be on Fight TV, FITE.tv right now, and it's going to be a tremendous event, man. I'm telling you right now.
Okay, can't wait. I'll definitely be watching it from my man cave at home. Anything else you want to plug or talk about before we sign off here, Jesse?
Not at the moment. I just want to say thank you for all your support. I know we won't be talking in a couple of years, but I do greatly appreciate everybody's support. And you know what? We look for another 20 plus years here. Just keep this thing rolling.